This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. Nearly 500 public service retirees rehired. The BPSU chief blasting the civil service retirees rehiring. The Independent Commission will be free of interference, says the Prime Minister. And China fires back. The Chinese ambassador defending China's presence in the Bahamas and the region. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, February 20th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. Also this morning, we are going to be getting a preview of an event this weekend called Coffee and Conversations, an inspiring morning. All the details coming up in just a bit. And later in business, it's a special edition of our monthly series with Small Business Development Center. We are getting more information about their Entrepreneurs with Disabilities initiative. That's all ahead today. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, nearly 500 retirees have been rehired by the Davis administration, with 480 of them receiving their pensions as well as their salaries, as required by law. That's according to Minister of Labor and Public Service Pia Glover-Roll. She revealed the retirees were brought back because of a skills gap in the public service. She says there is a plan in place to ensure these retired workers pass on their knowledge to understudies, so future administrations won't have to commit or continue the practice. But she says 491 retirees have been re-engaged since the Davis administration took office since September 2021. A figure she said represents just 1.9% of the 25,000 strong civil service. but her explanation blasted as a, quote, cop-out by Bahamas Public Service Union President Kingsley Ferguson, who told the National Guardian the practice of rehiring retired civil servants has decimated morale in the public sector. Glover's revelation coming as she answered a question in the House of Assembly put to her by FNM leader Michael Pintard. During debate, St. Barnabas MP Shannon Don Cartwright later raised concern about the rehired retirees, saying it sent the message to young people that the government was not serious about creating employment opportunities for them. At the first question time in the House in nearly a year, Prime Minister Philip Davis said he was not ready to answer questions that have been put on the agenda since 2023. The Prime Minister saying, quote, I appreciate that the member has some questions for me. It was hoped that we would direct the questions to the persons who are ready to give the answers. He mentioned that the member from Freetown, the National Security Minister, Wayne Monroe, was ready with answers, but many others were deferred. Prime Minister, though, speaking on the Independent Commission of Investigations bill, saying that it will finally allow residents to make complaints against public officers and officials to an independent commission. Parliamentarians debated that bill and the Protected Disclosure Bill. That latter bill establishes and strengthens safeguards for employees reporting wrongdoing, including unlawful or unethical conduct within both public and private organizations. The bill empowers whistleblowers to report fraud or corruption or misconduct by ensuring confidentiality, providing a pathway for disclosure, and protecting them from retaliation. On the Independent Commission of Investigations bill, the Prime Minister said the commission will be free of government interference and will establish an independent commission of investigations. A 33-year-old teacher at Achievers Christian Academy granted $4,000 bail after he denied that he indecently assaulted a student last month. Prosecutors say Kristen Johnson placed his hand on the 15-year-old girl's lap while he was dropping her home. He's also accused of whispering a lewd remark in her ear while in a classroom. Johnson pleaded not guilty to the indecent assault charge at his arraignment before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vogt Evans. He's banned from contacting the prosecution's witnesses and has to sign in at the Grove Police Station. His trial is set for April 28th. Johnson has been suspended from the school pending the conclusion of the trial and is eager to have the matter resolved, according to his lawyer. The prosecution's key witness in the corruption trial of a former senior-ranking policeman and 4 other officers appeared before a magistrate for his $1.475 million theft case. Akil Holmes is accused of taking part in the November 2nd, 2023 heist that investigators believe was an inside job. At the time of the theft, Holmes was employed at ICS Security Concepts, the company tasked with transporting money for Bank of the Bahamas. Prosecutors allege that Holmes and Oral Roberts, who was murdered in July 2024, stole cash-filled bags after a co-worker left the vehicle unattended at a private airport. Holmes' trial was adjourned to April because Senior Magistrate Kendra Kelly, who has carriage over the matter, is out of office. His lawyer, Sonia Timothy Knowles, who appeared along with Judith Smith, told Senior Magistrate Shaka Seville that she was still waiting for disclosure from the prosecution. Though facing trial for his own alleged acts of dishonesty, Holmes is now expected to testify against former Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson, Sergeant D'Angelo Roll, Sergeant Nelson Miller, Corporal Chavez Sawyer, and local constable Benson Miller in separate trials. The charges against the officers stem from their alleged misconduct while investigating the theft. Johnson is accused of stealing $90,000 of the stolen cash that was allegedly found in Holmes' possession when he was arrested, and the other officers are accused of trying to extort money from Holmes. And days after United States Embassy Charge d'Affaires Kimberly Furnish urged regional partners like the Bahamas to resist the malign influence of China, Chinese ambassador to the Bahamas, Yang Jiurong, defending China's record in the country and the region, insisting there are no strings attached to its partnerships in Latin America and the Caribbean. The ambassador saying, quote, China does not engage in exclusive small circles, geopolitical competition, and bloc confrontation. China does not request other countries to take sides. China welcomes all other friendly countries to invest more in the Bahamas and carry out more projects to the benefit of the Bahamian people. Other countries should take China's partnerships with the Bahamas, the Caribbean, and Latin America countries in a more open and inclusive way. The world has ample space for all nations to thrive together. Ambassador Yang also saying that both China and the Bahamas are independent and sovereign countries. Both have the right to choose with whom to make friends and what development path the countries should pursue. Overseas, NATO members continuing their largest combat exercises of 2025, testing their ability to rapidly deploy large-scale forces on the 32-nation alliance's eastern border as worries grow over its most powerful member, the United States. The drills in Romania, which borders Ukraine, come as a shaken Europe grapples with a new U.S. course under President Donald Trump. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has demanded that allies dramatically ramp up military spending and said U.S. security priorities lie elsewhere, casting doubts on Washington's long-standing security guarantees provided to Europe. Days before the third anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the steadfast DART 2025 drills comprise about 10,000 military personnel from 9 nations as part of NATO's new Allied Reaction Force. They're taking place over 6 weeks in Romania, Bulgaria, and Greece. Although the Trump administration has not announced plans to pull U.S. forces from the region, Hegseth's remark that European allies must lead from the front left NATO partners contemplating a potential new reality in which the U.S. is no longer the powerful nuclear-armed backstop for the continent's security. And Donald Trump warning Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky that he, quote, better move fast to negotiate an end to Russia's invasion of Ukraine or risk not having a nation to lead. The rhetoric from Trump toward Ukraine coming amid an escalating back and forth between the two presidents and rising tensions between Washington and much of Europe over Trump's approach to settling the biggest conflict on the continent since World War II. Trump's harsh words for Zelensky drawing criticism from Democrats and even some Republicans in the United States, where Ukraine's defense against Russian aggression has had bipartisan support. Zelensky said Trump was falling into a Russian disinformation trap and was quickly admonished by Vice President J.D. Vance about the perils of publicly criticizing the new president. Trump, who is trying to bring the fighting to a close on terms that Kyiv says are too favorable to Moscow, used an extended social media post on his Truth Social platform to lash out at Zelensky and call the Ukrainian, quote, dictator without elections. Trump saying of Zelensky, who was a popular television star in Ukraine before running for office, quote, think of it, a modestly successful comedian, Volodymyr Zelensky, talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that couldn't be won, that never had to start, but a war that he, without the U.S. and Trump, will never be able to settle. Trump accused Zelensky of being a dictator without elections due to the war. Ukraine, though, did delay elections that were scheduled for April 2024. And Panama transferring about one-third of the deportees from various nations it had received from the United States to a camp in its Darien province Wednesday, an area that became the main thoroughfare for migrants traveling from South America to the U.S. border in recent years. The migrants sent to Darien had refused to voluntarily be repatriated to their countries and will be held there until third countries can be found to take them. They're part of a larger group of 299 migrants to Panama by the U.S. government as the Trump administration tries to accelerate deportations. Panama Security Ministry is saying in a statement later Wednesday that 97 migrants had been sent to the camp in Darien province and 8 more would be sent there in the coming hours. It said 13 migrants had already been voluntarily returned to their countries. The others remained under police guard in a Panama City hotel, awaiting travel arrangements to their countries. The Panamanian government has denied that they are detained, but they are under police guard and not allowed to leave the hotel. Got your first look at sports brought to you by Kalik. The private schools champions, the St. John's College Giants, rolling to another victory at the 41st annual Hugh Campbell Invitational Basketball Tournament Wednesday, moving into day 3 of the A.F. Adderley Gym. The Giants defeated their private schools counterparts, the Kingsway Academy Saints, winning convincingly 58-38 to close out the morning session on Wednesday. They'll now go on to play either the Gateway Christian Academy Eagles or the Government Schools champions Anatole Rogers Timberwolves in their next game Friday night. Against the Saints, the Giants trailed just once, 1-0 on a free shot. 48 seconds into the game from there, they went on a 14-1 scoring run and never looked back. You can read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. Bahamian professional baseball player Jazz Chisholm Jr. had his best season in the majors a year ago, splitting time between the Miami Marlins and the New York Yankees and reaching the World Series with the latter. This year, Chisholm is set to return to his natural position at second base, a position he came up with in Major League Baseball with the Marlins. Chisholm coming over to the American League as he was traded to the Yankees at the trade deadline a year ago, flourishing at the plate. He played third base for the first time in his 5-year career and gave the Yankees exactly what they needed. He's listed as the 10th best second baseman in the majors. You can read more about that in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NBA, Luka Doncic couldn't find his shot in his third game with the Los Angeles Lakers, and LeBron James couldn't make up for it. But the Lakers all say they aren't worried after their embarrassing 197 loss to the Charlotte Hornets Wednesday night. Doncic scored 14 points on 5 of 18 shooting, including a 1-for-9 performance on 3-point attempts. The Slovenian superstar added 11 rebounds and 8 assists, but also committed 6 turnovers and 5 personal fouls while playing 33 minutes in his longest performance since joining the Lakers in that blockbuster trade with Dallas. Doncic saying, quote, it's going to take a little time. A lot of rustiness from my part. Started the game with like 4 or 5 turnovers. That can't happen. Just got to play basketball the right way. The evening was clearly frustrating to Doncic, who was playing only his third NBA game following a 6.5-week absence due to a calf strain incurred on Christmas. And from the NFL, the salary cap will be between $277.5 million and $281.5 million for the 2025 season, rising as much as $26 million from last year. The bump is great news for Cincinnati, which is hoping to sign receiver T. Higgins to a long-term contract. It also means more money for Minnesota to re-sign quarterback Sam Darnold, or Kansas City to bring back guard Trey Smith, or Super Bowl champion Philadelphia to keep linebacker Zach Braun. It's also significant for teams projected to be over the cap when the new league year begins in March. Atlanta, Seattle, Buffalo, and Cleveland. It might not be enough to save New Orleans, though, which is more than $50 million over the projected cap and by far in the worst shape heading into 2025. The salary cap was set at $255.4 million in 2024, up more than $30 million from the previous year. That's sports, brought to you by Kalik, the beer of the Bahamas. inviting you to Victory Fest 2025, March 1st at Smuggler Square for an epic celebration of the 2024 Boxing Day and 2025 New Year's Day Junkanoo winners, the Saxon Superstars. The Junkanoo season may be over, but the celebration for the 4 straight Junkanoo winners, Saxon Superstars, just getting started. That's Saturday, March 1st at Smuggler Square, brought to you by Collect, the beer of the Bahamas. Got your first look at weather for today, brought to you by Grosvenor Medical Center. We've got a relatively dry cold front that is currently across South Florida. That's going to move into the area later this morning and gradually make its way into the central Bahamas by tonight. Strong, gusty winds and finally cooler temperatures will follow as high pressure will build across the northern islands by tonight. So we've got a near gale watch that's going to come into effect around noon for the northern Bahamas and 6 p.m. for the rest of the northwest Bahamas. That cold front is going to eventually move out of the southeast Bahamas by late Friday. High pressure is going to support a continental air mass along with brisk breezes through to Saturday. And that's going to be the first cool down in more than a month. By Sunday, the front will weaken and meander across the southern islands as weak low pressure will form off the coast of Georgia, South Carolina. So all of these features will disrupt the ridging pattern across the area, and that's going to bring a weak wind pattern, while cloudy conditions will keep temperatures close to what we should be seeing at this time. Another cold front will move into the area by early next week, Tuesday. That one's going to bring possibly heavy showers and thunderstorms with that front for the start of the week. But for now, we've got an elevated risk of rip currents across the northern and northwest Bahamas. Beachgoers are urged to remain on shore. Let me say that again. Beachgoers are urged to remain on shore and to exercise caution if you are not in the northern and northwest Bahamas. So for today, for the northern islands, as that front moves through, partly cloudy to cloudy, a 10 to 30% chance of showers, winds west to northwest at 10 to 15 knots, veering northwest to north at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts by this evening. For the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, today a mix of sun and clouds, turning partly cloudy to cloudy by late this afternoon as the front makes its way to this part of the country. A 10 to 20% chance of showers, winds west-southwest to west-northwest at 10 to 15 knots, veering northwest by this afternoon. Winds will shift north at 15 to 20 knots by tonight. Then for the central and southeast Bahamas, partly to mostly sunny, turning partly cloudy tonight. For the central islands, mostly fair for the southeastern islands. 10% chance of showers or less. Wind south to southwest at 10 knots or less today, shifting north to northwest, northwest to north-northeast at 10 knots or less tonight for the central islands. Southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times today, shifting north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots tonight for the southeastern Bahamas. Temperature-wise, we're looking at highs for most areas, around 83, 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. The extreme northern islands will see highs in the closer to 80, 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight for the northern Bahamas, including Grand Bahama, getting down to a cool 61 Fahrenheit, 16 Celsius. Most of us will see highs in the lows in the upper 60s, around 67 Fahrenheit, about 20 Celsius. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in just a bit. But this weather check brought to you by Grosvenor Medical Center. Screening for colorectal cancer should begin at the age of 45. Reduce your risk for colon cancer and schedule your colonoscopy today at reduced prices for the months of March and April at the office of Dr. Harold Munnings, located next to Princess Margaret Hospital. They're offering an even lower price for those who present with their NHI cards. Give them a call today, 328-5550. That's Grosvenor Medical Center.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that
It is time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Spain sounds like this. But with a little Caribbean, it can sound like this. The world needs more Caribbean. And with FedEx, you can ship your products to every corner with increased cargo capabilities, 24/7 shipment tracking, and shipping tools. Take your business worldwide and enjoy life a bit more like us.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Collect the Bear of the Bahamas invites you to Victory Fest 2025. Join us Saturday, March 1st at Smuggler Square for an epic celebration of the 2024 Boxing Day and 2025 New Year's Junkin' of Winners, the Saxon Superstars. Enjoy music by Playhouse DJs, Lil Giant, DJ Tank, and performing live, Van Sean and D-Mac. Let's celebrate the 4 straight Junkin' of Winners, Saxon Superstars. Victory Fest 2025, Saturday, March 1st at Smuggler Square. Hosted by Rika C. Gates open at 8 p.m. Let's celebrate Junkanoo, culture, and the Saxon Superstars. Collect reminds you to drink responsibly, please.
Are you ready to break up with your car? Easy Car Sales invites you to fall in love with an electric vehicle. Ditch the gas pump, the expensive mechanics. Feel the freedom, the power. Visit easy242.com and make a date to test drive an electric vehicle today. Get into a better relationship. Find your perfect match at Easy Car Sales and drive electric happily ever after.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Cades Village, or call 396-1100.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the start.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Print Masters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
We're back with Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with you. And joining us now, we've got Laverne Gardner. Laverne, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Great to have you with us. As always.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
All right, we have a lot to talk about this morning. Coming up, we are going to find out more about Coffee and Conversations, an event this Saturday. Our dear friend Duquesa is going to be here with some friends to tell us about that. And looking forward to the details. And then later, it's our monthly series, a special Thursday edition of it with the Small Business Development Center. And we're talking more about their Entrepreneurs with Disabilities initiative. Learned some about that earlier in the month, and we're going to meet some in the program today. So that's all great, but right now let's talk about what else is in the news. And in the news, Laverne, I know you don't like me to talk about the U.S. president, but I just have to say this really quickly. Did you see what the White House Twitter page, apparently their Instagram page as well? I don't know what's happening. It's like, you remember a few years ago, the corporate headquarters, Wendy's, became known for their very spicy, sassy tweets. They were, yeah. So the White House is now apparently the hip place for tweets. Very odd. So I don't know if you're aware of what's going on in New York. They're trying to adopt a parking policy, congestion pricing. Like other cities in the world, London has it as well. So you have to pay if you're entering the city during peak periods, that kind of thing, right? So it's been very controversial, and Trump was criticizing it quite a bit. So the White House posted on X that he was going to kill it, right? Congestion pricing. So they posted, and a mock photo of, it looked like a Time magazine, but it was a picture of Trump with a crown on his head. Congestion pricing is dead. Manhattan and all of New York is saved. Long live the king. And so, I don't know if many Bahamians will get why this is a problem, because the Bahamas has a king, and very proud to call Charles the king of the Bahamas. So they might not understand, but the U.S. went to war so they wouldn't have a king and never ever have a king again. But this is, you're receiving lots of backlash, and many not pleased with this at all. This is not funny. This is really in poor taste, and many wondering when the world's going on, and what happened to the White House Twitter page. Has it been hacked? Are there the interns running it? Are there children at a preschool? What's going on? But just some interesting stuff there, Laverne. I don't know if you find that as disturbing as I do. I don't know if anybody else does.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't. And let me just clarify.
Mm-hmm.
I do not have a problem with you talking about the President of the United States.
Oh, okay.
It is the frequency in which I am concerned that it has become an obsession with you.
Oh, dear.
And that is what I am concerned about. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I am not in an uproar about it because in my mind, anything can happen under this current presidency.
Mm-hmm.
So for that to be on their Twitter page, it's not a shock to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that is the thing. One thing we can say is that the current president never pretended to be anyone other than who he is. And so all of these antics and the different things that may happen, that he may say, that may come out of the press room, that may come out of the White House, is all a part of who he is. And we have known who he was. He's made no pretense about it. So when things like this happen, I'm not shocked.
Okay. All right. I hear you. I hear you. This is how it starts, folks. But okay. All right. This texter says, yes, Laverne, tell Dwight to relax, please. Okay.
Yes, I am concerned. You are my friend, and I am concerned about how are you going to make it for these next 4 years.
I don't think I will.
Yeah, I'm serious. Seriously, if
Oh,
you
I
go
am
at
too.
this rate, I think that sometimes you just have to give yourself a timeout with the president of the United States because it will every day. It's every day. It is literally something.
I just want Bahamians to realize, because I see how everyone's very casual about this stuff. If any of your prime ministers ever did this stuff, you'd go insane. Right? If Brave Davis were to post on the Office of the Prime Minister page a picture of himself wearing a crown, I got all the doctors back to work, I'm the king, all hail me now, y'all would lose your minds. This is the same
Would
thing.
they?
You would.
Would we?
You certainly would.
You know what, Dwight?
Maybe
I'm
not the
confident that
maybe not the yellow
everybody
shirts,
would.
maybe not the gold shirts.
I'm not
But I
confident
think
everybody
plenty
would.
people would have a serious problem with that.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
But anyway. Okay. Just letting you know. We got a lot of big local stories to get to. The big headline in the National Guardian, China fires back. We can get to that right now. But also, this is the thing we're going to focus on for most of the morning. Nearly 500 public service retirees hired. The Minister of the Public Service, Labor and the Public Service, explaining this, answering questions in the House yesterday. All right, so the phone lines are all lit up. What are they lit up for? The people want to comment on this? Is that what that is? Should we take these calls quickly? I want to get to the China thing. Let's take these quickly. Caller, are you there?
Good morning to both of you fine people this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Dwight, I think you should keep an eye out for the king. Anyone who wants to call himself a king.
King now, emperor next week.
Okay, but you see, what we have to look at from a global perspective, Dwight, is this gentleman is showing you exactly how persons thought about other people years ago when they took them out of their land and brought them into slavery. I own you. I own your land. I am the king. On top of that, I own all your minerals. I will hoard it out your country, refine it, and sell you back the spoon. But the actual mineral came from you. So we're looking at Africa now standing up to this stupid king. And I think that's going to be the role where you're going to find this king is going to have to pull all of the South Africans who performed and benefited from apartheid, like Elon Musk, and find a place in America for them. So let's just watch this show. Watch that stupid king.
Okay, well, that language is a bit much there. But, wow. Oh, boy. Okay, caller, good morning. You're on the air. Are you there? No. Hi, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm on your side.
Yeah, because it's not just what the president is doing, but what he's doing not only to his people, but to all his allies. He's siding with Putin against Zelensky. He's putting at risk an 80-year-old favorable alliance with the Western world. So there is need for concern. But one good thing about Donald Trump, I would say he has caused the illegal migrants who are heading to the States to voluntarily turn back. So I give him that as a plus. But other than that, I think he's very erratic and he has no opposition from his own people, from the Republicans. That is very dangerous.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. One final call on this. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? No. Okay. Let's read these messages and we'll get to China. Oh, yeah. Oh, we'll take that. Okay. Hi. Good morning. You're on the air. Turn on your radio for us, please. Hi.
Can I speak to Mr. Sean, please?
You're live on the air. Turn on your radio, please.
Hello?
Hi. You are live on the air right now. You need to turn on your radio for us, please.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Sean.
Hi.
You know what is even more troubling? There are many Bahamians who think he is the king.
Oh, yeah.
To them, he is bigger than the king of the Jews, who is Jesus. So the fact that the Americans might think, or Trump himself might think he's the king, I find it more troubling when many Bahamians actually think he is the king. And whatever he does, they call it strength. He's strong. So that's something to think about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much. More and more, it seems, every day. More and more every day. But hey, I mean, you know. And yeah, okay. This is going to take the whole show, Laverne. Oh, gosh. Final call on this, folks. We got to move on. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, I'm Dwight. Morning. How you doing?
Doing well.
Yeah, I don't know about this thing with the minister hiring these persons, because I know a lot of the ministries down, they have quite qualified and efficient persons down in these ministries. I don't know what they're coming back for. They might as well hire Bahamians who need a job. So I think the minister needs to be exactly on why they brought these people back. And I don't see it's very unnecessary. It's very unnecessary. So it don't make no sense to me.
Well, she explains why. We're going to get to that in just a moment. But thanks for calling. Okay, this texter says history has deliberately not been taught and upheld by leaders here and in the U.S. As a result, we are all being led by people doing things that are steadily, but certainly only in efforts to benefit themselves and maintain power. Democracy has made us passive. And as former Prime Minister Pindling said, if you ain't ready to fight for your country, you don't deserve to have it. Democracy has made us passive. Huh, okay. Dwight, it's not as if the king's actions stay in America. He's frightening, to say the least. I think they're trying to say there will be consequences beyond the United States, yes. Many critical thinking Bahamians wish that we would talk more about why we continue to bind ourselves to an institution, monarchy that previously oppressed us. I agree. Why our political appointments, laws, and existence are so heavily dependent on the signature of the King of England. At least there is pushback in the U.S. with the implication that Trump thinks that he is King of America. Meanwhile, we go about our daily lives as secret British subjects. Some not so secret. Some are very proud to be that. You're totally right. Totally right. And I tell you, we'll be the last. England will say we're done with this, and the Bahamas will be the final realm. Oh, boy. Dwight, here's what I find disturbing. Last week, Tuesday, I believe 300 people were fired from nuclear power facilities across the U.S. The total staffing across nuclear power plants is said to be around 1,800. So 20% of the nuclear power workers were fired by a 3-sentence email. These are the people who oversee the production of and safety of nuclear plants and products across the U.S., the singular thing that underpins the United States military power. Here's the really disturbing part. The Department of this DOGE did not know this small group of experts worked at nuclear facilities. Over the weekend, HR workers were scrambling to hire all workers back. All terminations were rescinded. Well, that's interesting. All right. So let's get to China. China fires back. That's the headline in the Nassau Guardian. Laverne Arcandia Dames writing about it. Days after United States Embassy Chargé d'Affaires Kimberly Furnish urged regional partners like the Bahamas to resist the malign influence of China. Chinese ambassador to the Bahamas, Yan Jianrong, yesterday defended China's record in the Bahamas and the region, insisting there are no strings attached to its partnerships in Latin America and the Caribbean. Ambassador Yang saying, quote, China does not engage in exclusive small circles, geopolitical competition, and bloc confrontation. China does not request other countries to take sides. China welcomes all other friendly countries to invest more in the Bahamas and carry out more projects to the benefit of the Bahamian people. Other countries should take China's partnerships with the Bahamas, Caribbean, and Latin America countries in a more open and inclusive way. After all, the world has ample space for all nations to thrive together. Both China and the Bahamas are independent and sovereign countries. Both have the right to choose with whom to make friends and what development path the country should pursue. The ambassador said other countries should respect such choices and rights, saying, quote, China's cooperation with the Bahamas respects Bahamian sovereignty, imposing no political conditions and targeting no third parties. It has garnered widespread appreciation from both the Bahamian government and the people. She adopted the words of a Nassau Guardian editorial on Tuesday, which stated that there is nothing wrong with the Bahamas and its Caribbean neighbors continuing to develop close ties with China, just as the United States has done. The ambassador pointed out that trade between the U.S. and China amounts to more than $680 billion, and more than 70,000 U.S. companies have invested in China. The statement sent after the Nassau Guardian requested a response to the comments made by Furnish, who told attendees at the Grand Bahama Business Outlook last week Thursday that China makes big promises but, quote, delivers little. Now, rejecting such claims and claims that China represents a nefarious presence in the Bahamas and the wider region. The Ambassador Yan said that, to the contrary, China is a doer. She pointed to significant investments and contributions China has made in the Bahamas over the years, saying, quote, cooperation between China and the Bahamas is based on the needs of the Bahamas. The cooperation has brought tangible benefits to the local people and improved the well-being of the Bahamian people. Facts speak louder than words. China and the Bahamas have continued to enhance practical cooperation in recent years. The Thomas Robinson National Stadium is a gift from the Chinese people to the people of the Bahamas, and the Chinese companies now carrying out maintenance and renovation work. The concessional loans provided by China supported the construction of the Nassau Airport Gateway, as well as the port of North Abaco. Chinese enterprises invested in the construction of Bahamar and the Point and the British Colonial in downtown Nassau. She also pointed to other projects in the Bahamas that became a reality through Chinese investments and highlighted extensive Chinese investments in Latin America and the Caribbean, saying that China and LAC, the Latin America and the Caribbean region, are natural partners. Win-win cooperation is the hallmark of China's relations with LAC countries. Both China and LAC countries are from the global south, standing at a crucial stage of development. Born and rooted in the global south, China shares strong emotional bonds and broad common interests with LAC countries. With many similar positions and a lot to offer each other, we are natural partners. Since 2012, China has been the second largest trading partner of Latin America. In 2024, the trade volume between China and Latin America exceeded $500 billion, a year-on-year increase of 6%. By the end of 2023, China's direct investment stock in Latin America and the Caribbean amounted to $600.8 billion, making Latin America and the Caribbean the second largest destination for China's overseas investment. She also said China's practical cooperation with the region comes with no strings attached, targets no third party, aligns with local needs, and ensures mutual benefits, delivering tangible gains and well-being to the local people. All right, let's get your reaction to that. The full statement from the ambassador is printed in today's Nassau Guardian, and you can find it on the letters page 4 there in the main section. So let's get your views on that. Coming back in response to everything that was said last week, how do you think? How do you feel about it? 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Interesting, Laverne, that she mentioned some of those hotel properties. Those have been very controversial, of course. Many not sure if these were this was the right direction for the country to go, but she mentioned it nonetheless. And they are doing...
And not only that, whether we thought it was the right direction or not, they went.
Right.
And so they exist.
And and for the most part, it appears that they're doing well. All right. So the phone lines are lit up again. And
but I think for me,
Mm-hmm.
Before you go to the phone lines, I think what was most interesting with their response was them highlighting the amount of goods and services that the United States does in terms of trade with China.
With them, right. Yes.
Yeah.
So the double talk, is that what they're suggesting?
So, right. And that was that was the way of saying, hey, you're putting out warnings and you're telling they're telling other nations to be careful, but this is the amount of business that we do together.
Yeah. Very much so.
But you said the phone lines are lit up, and so
yes, indeed, and the text line as well. We're going to get to those in a bit. Let's go to the phone lines, though. Good morning, caller. You are on the air. Are you there? Good morning. Hi.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Strachan.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Laverne. You know, Dwight, I don't know if a lot of people think I'm crazy, right? But I like how Laverne read you up because she's saying you focusing on Trump. You remember when you was all over me for the pandemic? But I'd like to say this, Mr. Strachan, and I'd like to make this very clear. What most people done in following global agendas for almost 40 years now, right, is that finance and monetary gain and the quest for the Earth's resources. So they will use financial exploits, right? And that's the new form of colonization. So it's called stealth. So where Hitler used bombs and guns and tanks, etc., and troops, people are now using monetary means in order to control countries. It's called corporatism. We've seen it now with Elon Musk dictating to Trump. I saw something online that said that he showed who's giving the orders or whatever it is. It doesn't matter to me. So, Trump is doing some good things, but, like everybody says, Trump is delusional. So, for me, what's been following this for almost 40 years, Dwight, what about the Treaty of Tordesillas from the Pope shared the world and a half to a papal bill and colonization started, right? I fall in love with the texter. I hope it's a female. I really like to know that text is a female who talked about us worshiping our colonial masters and talk about being British subjects. I fell in love with that texter. I obviously believe that person is well read. They knows what's going on, and that's our downfall. And the Caribbean, the lack of the West Indian Federation coming to fruition back in the 50s, 1950s and things like that, and the failure for CARICOM to become an effective geopolitical negotiator, we will stay in the position we are in. So what I'm saying, Mr. Strachan, in other words, I've been asking people, if one person can call this radio station and showed me that they read or they started to delve into something called silent weapon for quiet wars, it is literally that what I'm talking about. Silent weapon for quiet wars. Quiet wars are going on. Nobody wants to listen to one another and try to learn what they don't know because they be in the school and become a fool and don't know the truth when they hear it. I dare someone to go and read the declassified information on silent weapon for quiet wars. Right? All of this is entailed in that. And the reports from Iron Mountain have been begging people to read. So nothing surprises me, like the word is saying. See, you may have a degree. Somebody may have a degree. But that doesn't mean that you study global agendas. There's silent weapon for quiet. If someone could call the station today and prove to me if they read it, I'll give them $100 for gasoline. Bless up.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Cousin Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning, Laverne.
Good morning, GNN.
How are you all doing this morning?
We're okay.
Wonderful, wonderful. See, because I had a grandmother. I grew up with my grandmother, right? Grammy. That's my thing. And Grammy used to say, we sit up in the bed in the night, sometimes early in the morning when we got little problems and we talk. And Grammy said to me, GNN, do as best you can do while you're here on this planet because we only passing through. You understand? We got a short time here. Try to make it count, make it work. And my boy, C. Allen Johnson, and my classmate and schoolmate, 52, and all of them, right? You all really passing through, buddy. See all them reading this and that. You better read enough just to get through. And two things I can tell you about one or two things. China got 2.something billion people to displace and defeat. Only one thing they concern about, that's them. America, the same thing. And when it comes to my president, Donald Trump, whichever one sitting in the chair, it just happened to be Trump now. Trump says and does what 9.5% us out of 10 want to say and do, but scared to do. And lastly, for us behemoths, we need to sweep our own, almost cuss just now, dorm out before we all around the world, worrying about Trump and Xi Jinping and all them. Because we got some dangerous problems right here on our doorstep. Thanks for taking GNN call.
Okay. China's population is 1.4 billion. That's too
Yeah, Dwight, my feeling is this. Every country is trying to do what is best for them. Maybe I'm jaded. I just don't believe that countries make alliances and do things just because, they love the people. So they just love Bahamians and love this country, this Commonwealth, and they love us so much. And let's just do this. They do what is best for them. However, it works. And so it is important for us in all of this to make decisions, to make alliances, to make agreements that benefit us, that leave us in a better position. Because I'm telling you, that is what the other countries are doing.
Okay. All right. Let's take some more calls really quickly. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne.
Good morning.
Okay, I'm going to get, Dwight, a copy of what you read this morning as it relates to China and what they have done here and what they're continuing to do here.
Mm-hmm.
But what is surprising to me, with all these things that China has done in the Bahamas, where do we see the outline of why they're doing, what they're getting from what they're doing, and how does it benefit us? They're saying that that whole excerpt you read from what the administrator said for China said, I don't know who read
Ambassador.
it.
Mm-hmm.
It's always saying in the well-being of the Bahamians, in the well-being of the country and its citizens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if that is true, which I know it's not true, why are the Chinese only hiring, this is the Bahamas, only hiring the Haitian nationality in all of their businesses, whether it be the food stores?
Well, now that's different, though. I mean, that's...
Yes, but that's my thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
What is the kickback for them? Because if you're coming into a country with their own citizens and you're doing something contrary to the citizens, how is it in our well-being? You're going into all of our urban areas, challenged areas.
I mean, so you think the government of China is sanctioning or behind these mom-and-pop Chinese stores?
I don't think that the government of China is sanctioning, but we're giving them the permits to do business here.
Mm-hmm.
We're also saying the other day, somebody had something that the Bahamas is bringing all kind of immigrants, XYZ, and there has to be some hidden agenda. I don't know if that was 52. He's saying that there's a silent war. No, this war is very blatant. Bahamian people need to open up their eyes. Very blatant as to what is going on. Somebody is doing something. Something is going on, and we have no idea as to what these people are doing. Okay? I don't think the ambassador of China, or whatever her position is sick. I don't know if she's aware, but our Bahamian people are very aware, and we can see what is going on. It's blatant in our face. Immigration Department, the government of the Bahamas, you heard what Laverne said, they're doing what is in the best interest. These other countries are doing what is in the best interest of their country. Can you honestly, Dwight, I'm going to ask you, Laverne, do you honestly think that the government of the Bahamas is doing what is in the best interest of Bahamians? Look at everything, every area, every industry. Do you
So
think
what
that
do you
they're
say?
doing what is best for us?
Because they might not be, you say, well, they definitely can't trust the U.S. and China because then obviously they aren't. That's what you're suggesting? Or?
Point blank, Dwight.
Oh, boy. Wow. That's
Thanks
deep.
for taking my call.
That's rough and deep. My God. Okay. Well, if your own don't care, why would the others care so much, eh? That's wild. That's wild. By the way, she mentioned Bahamas there. They debunked that. They said that was not true. But interesting call. Thank you very much for calling in. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Hi, doing well.
Good morning, Lorraine, the lady from the north.
Good morning.
I can ask you and Dwight one question first before I make my two little input. What God promised the people if they live right? The age bracket.
70 years.
Thank you very much.
10.
So 70 years old is not the Moses school. The Moses school are the 75 and over. They're the ones who are Christ, and they're the ones who will try to fix this country for my children and my grandchildren. Now, let me make my couple points. 52 made some good statements, and my boy, Marvin G. and Nick Sobo. Do I remember I called on these shows many, many years ago? Biden and Obama was the president for 8 years in the United States of America. They skipped the Bahamas, they skipped the Caribbean, all of them skipped South America. The Chinese movement, build a stadium, build all kinds of things, lend us money, all kinds of things. The European nations invest $1 in this country. And I don't want you all to believe that the Canadians are our friends. Because they're in this country for over 100-something years, making billions of dollars off the Bahamas. They moved their corporate centers to Barbados or Trinidad, one of those countries for cheap labor. See, Bahamian people, don't worry. I was watching Al Jazeera for over 30 years. I just finished watching a while ago. See, Trump is a strong leader. He's not perfect. He believes in God, and he believes in some good things, like 52 said. But they need strong leaders. You see, for all your people over there, 52 ain't going to save you. But let me tell you something, Dwight. We got a lot of educated being in this country. They believe they're smart. And playing them ain't get no JOB. Now, I ain't mind the Prime Minister bringing back a couple of those motor screen, a handful. But why all 500? What happened to the young people who need jobs?
Yeah.
Who can pay national insurance?
All right,
Some
so
of these people
we're
getting
gonna
free salary.
get to that. We're gonna read what Pia Glover is saying. She's explaining why and the rationale for it. So we'll get to that in a bit, and then if you want to, you can call back and tell me what you think of the explanation. But let's take a few more calls on this, and we got to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi. Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
Good morning to your co-host. I think the Chinese ambassador's statement, I don't disagree with it. There's quite a bit of balance in it. I believe that the argument should be made for both countries to coexist in a harmony in the Bahamas' best interest. One should not be placed against the other. That's, however, the ideal, and clearly that's not what's happened, and it's not what's going to happen. So I think beyond her just making a statement, we have to move to the next stage of this particular environment, because the U.S. and China are not going to coexist in harmony in this little space. What that means for the Bahamas is to be seen, how our leaders handle it, and also how past behavior on the part of our leaders who tend to capitulate to the next most convenient thing rather than have a strategic set of outcomes that remains consistent no matter which one of these countries they're talking to. That's going to be my concern going forward. What I would say, though, in reference to the Chinese, is the Chinese the government side of their relationship in line as opposed to the cultural, their community here in the Bahamas. There are some connections and there are some disconnect. One of the issues that concerns me with the cultural presence here, which is indirectly connected to them having investments and a presence here in the Bahamas, is they seem to have been able to allow to enter into areas that are not necessarily in the best interest of Bahamians. And one of those areas is the distribution of alcohol in underprivileged communities. It's no secret that a large amount of, or should I say, an increasing amount of Chinese merchants have been allowed to open liquor stores in underprivileged communities. And I am concerned that the government is not paying attention to the fact that this is not in the best interest of the Bahamian people.
So, what do you think? What do you think is happening here? So, is it is it our government that needs to get it together, or do you think that they are under pressure from the Chinese and the Chinese government?
This pivots back to my earlier statement that how the outcome of all of this is based on our government having a strategic set of objectives that aligns with the Bahamian people's interest in this whole debate, whether it's the Chinese investment or whether it's how the Chinese community develop as a community and participate in Bahamian society. It should be aligned strategically with what is in the Bahamian people's best interest. And right across the street within a block, in fact, it's lodged, one of them is lodged between two major schools. In fact, in the background of one of these liquor stores is a school the children have to go by on a daily basis. And I cannot imagine that I am not the sharpest pencil in the room. So I cannot imagine that there are not officials in this country, legislators, lawmakers, civic-minded Bahamians, that are not noticing that the Chinese are exploiting this particular area. They should not be allowed to distribute alcohol in underprivileged community with a license from the Bahamas government.
All right, so there are Bahamians doing this as well. You have an issue with everyone doing it or just the Chinese?
I have an issue with the fact that the Chinese aspect has exploded in the last 5 years. They are popping up everywhere. And alcohol, we know, if you go all the way back to the days of the racetrack when we had the hobby horse racetrack, when we had all the social ills, alcohol and gambling, all the other ills, has never served the Bahamian community well. And to allow a proliferation to the extent that I've seen growth with a foreign group of people that have moved here and obviously exploiting a negative in our community, come on, it doesn't take a whole lot for us to sit down and say we have to find a way to address that.
All right, John.
That concerns me, and I really would like for that to be addressed as we continue this debate over the Chinese and the Americans in our presence here in Bahamas.
All right, thank you very much, John. Appreciate it. Let's see if we can squeeze this in quickly. Got to go to a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there?
On?
Hi, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. I don't know if we're paying attention. Right now, we have an alignment of two parties. The America is trying to align his section, and China is the one who will get the rest. And now I see that we getting caught in the middle because of our geographical location. The America ain't into us because we are geographically in their best interest. China and Russia, them, they are aligning. Remember BRICS? All that is a part of the plan. America trying to stop that. So ain't like they want to do us favor. They just trying to get their position, whereas we get China out and they control it. That's all. It ain't nothing to do with us, It's just our location, and we got to pay attention to that. China's doing what is best for them economically. They're trying to get their strength across this world. America trying to do the same thing, but China's more aggressive in it, and now they're trying to stop that. Pay attention, and you will see it.
Well, I think everybody gets that, but we are humans, and we exist as people. And while the big elephants are playing around us, will the little people get trampled? That's what the concern is. So yes, you're absolutely right, and I think we all get it. But what will be the ramifications of this? And that's what the concern is. Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air. Are you there? No? Okay. Let's read these. Yep. No.
Hello.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Good morning, Lamar. Let me just show the little sarcasm. She talked about the King, Trump, and are you going to get by for the next 4 years? You just got to say, Lamar, that's how you got by for the past 3.5 years with the pseudo king from Cat Island, Rum Kings, and Salvador. Okay? In reference to us and the Chinese and the Americans, our governments have the tendency to cater to all foreigners who seem to throw some little cookies. Because what I'm saying here is, when you look at what we want to do, what someone like me want to do, and I make the pledge of putting some dialysis machines in Cook Island and San Salvador. I have 3 persons I know personally in the dialysis room this morning on Thursdays, Tuesdays, and Saturdays. And with the GNN, I'd like to get in contact with him because I think he has a personal concern about such a thing.
Okay.
So our pseudo king from Cat Island, Rum Kings, and Salvador needs to pay attention to these things. And like my schoolmate 52 said on the show, I think it was last week on Pinto show, we need MRI machine, not to have to be using private MRI machine. And they need to tell us, when you talk about King, where that King is and where the $2.5 million, because they're getting ready to talk about another budget. When this budget debate will start again, Dwight?
Soon. The mid-year is coming up, and then by the middle of the year, you'll get to the budget. All right, so some messages as we go. So, Laverne, this is interesting. Somebody says the headline is China fires back. Well, this text just says China came back with a bazooka. Well, okay. Another one here. Please don't talk about that port in North Abaco, the port that the government is allowing to just sit there, no maintenance. The buildings are becoming derelict. Oh, boy. Well, that's rough. This one here, it's very simple, Dwight. If the U.S. wants the Bahamas to be their exclusive friend, they have to start spending a lot more money and giving our citizens privileges like free or very low-cost education in their countries. This one says, I think it's interesting that the ambassador said those things where the U.S. has already taken away funding from Bahamian projects through the closure of USAID. And another text here. When we discuss issues related to the country of China, we need to separate this topic from the people with Chinese ancestry in the country and discuss whatever issues we have with what they have with their stores and what they sell at a different time. Yes, I agree with that entirely. So I was asking the caller, I mean, you thinking the government of China's involved in that, or is it just slackness and laxness from the Bahamian government allowing stuff? But that's... Some people seemingly think it's a bigger issue. And this texter here says, Dwight, either you are an ostrich with your head deeply buried or you don't ever ride through the inner cities of Nassau. Chinese liquor stores have crowded most of these communities, and one has to wonder if it's a deliberate attempt to eradicate the population from those areas. I don't see what that has to do with what you're bringing me into this for. Yes, we're all very aware of it, and we're letting it happen. That's the part there, texter. Who's letting it happen and why? Right? And you still go into the stores, right? Because they have a lot of business. They're not sitting there waiting for people to come. So stop being a hypocrite and deal with these things if you don't want it there. You don't have to support what you don't like. But yet you'll be there. And you know who has the best prices. And you tell people to go there because they have the best prices. So don't be a part of the problem if you have a problem with it, and try to figure out what's really going on here, because the ostriches, the people supporting
Dwight.
it.
Well said.
Anyway, everybody says that's what they're doing because they love us. It's friends. They want us. That's what the friends are for. Hey, let's go to the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Keep shining, knowing you can always count on me. For sure, that's what friends are for good times and bad times. I'll be on your side forevermore. That's what friends are for.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
Got a quick look at your traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. A reminder of the work going on Cowpen Road, just west of Faith Avenue. That's going to be mainly between 9:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. daily. You're asked to avoid the area if you can, or follow the posted signs. This is going to continue through March 3rd. Again, that's Cowpen Road, beginning at Faith Avenue, heading west. So keep that in mind during the days. And in your real-time traffic right now, as usual, heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway from well south of the Fire Trail roundabout straight up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. If you're heading northbound, traffic back up along Tawny Williams Darling Highway as well. We'll have more in your traffic report after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after the news here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
So I'm flying back to the island, so let's go. When you hear them beating that drum and calypso, na-na-na.
We're back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner on this Thursday morning, reminding you about 242 Day. It's back every year on the 24th day of the second month. That's the 24th of February. We celebrate 242 Day, encouraging everyone to show your Bahamian pride, fly your Bahamian flags, wear Bahamian flag colors, eat Bahamian foods, do something uniquely Bahamian, donate in sequences of 242, do something 242 times or 2,400, I don't know, whatever. But let's have fun with it. And that's Monday this year, 242 Day, a uniquely Bahamian day to show your Bahamian pride. Laverne, how are you going to be celebrating 242 Day this year?
I am going to wear my Bahamian colors.
Yes.
I am going to eat all Bahamian food that day.
Excellent.
I'm going to just immerse myself in our Bahamian colors. Culture.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have myself a day. I love 242 Day, I got to tell you.
Okay, it's a great time, great day, and we got a lot of issues to talk about, but on that day we can all come together and celebrate the good stuff going on in the country.
Absolutely.
So-
This is a wonderful country.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to be a Bahamian. So.
Absolutely. All right, so don't forget, we're not going to let you forget, and we're going to be celebrating 242 Day all day on Monday, of course. All right, so we want to get to this. Already people are sending us messages, calling in about it, but let's get into it right now. So nearly 500 public service retirees rehired. So the number, 480 of them receiving pensions as well as their salaries as required by law. The Minister of Labor and Public Service, Pia Glover-Rolle, revealing this yesterday, answering questions from the opposition. F&M leader Michael Pintard in the House yesterday asking the question. Take a listen to this exchange in the House yesterday, then we'll get deeper into it. We'll get to the clip with Pintard and Pia Glover-Rolle.
Minister advised this honorable House on the number of retired public officers who returned to work, and are these public officers receiving full pension and pay?
Madam Speaker, Marcus City. Regarding question 1, will the Honourable Minister advise the House on the number of retired public officers who have returned to work? The answer is 491 retired public officers have returned to work, which represents 1.9% of the total number of public servants. The second question, are these public officers receiving full pension and pay? The answer is that 480 are, as is required by law.
All right, so that short clip there. So there's more on this in today's Nassau Guardian. Tanika Thompson writing about this, right? So again, 480 of them receiving their pensions and their salaries. So Glover-Rolle explaining that the retirees were brought back because of a skills gap in the public service. She said there is a plan in place to ensure these retired workers pass on their knowledge to understudies so future administrations won't have to continue with this practice. But her explanation blasted as a cop-out by Bahamas Public Service Union President Kimsley Ferguson, who told the Nassau Guardian the practice of rehiring retired civil servants has decimated morale in the public sector. We'll get to Kimsley Ferguson in a bit. But Glover-Rolle's revelation coming as she answered the questions you heard posed to her by Michael Pintard. She said 491 retirees have been re-engaged since the Davis administration took office in September 2021. 1.9% of the 25,000 strong civil service. During debate in Parliament, St. Barnabas MP Shannon Don Cartwright later raised concern about the rehired retirees, saying it sent the message to young people that the government was not serious about creating employment opportunities for them. He asked, I'm sure that they may be very capable persons, but if we are saying we are creating a brighter future, how do you justify 491 retirees being rehired? Glover-Rolle, in response, defended the practice, saying the Davis administration took this route due to long-standing human resource issues in the public sector, such as a lack of training and succession planning. She said, quote, in order for us to engage proper human resources, we need training, we need institutional knowledge. We have brought back senior public officials who have retired to assist us in training, succession planning for all ministries across the civil service. This isn't 491 persons in one ministry. This is across the service, which would equate to maybe about 5 or 6% per ministry, 5 or 6 per ministry. The fact that we had a breakdown in the human resource function in our public service for decades has to be addressed. We can't make apologies for it, but we have to fix it. We have to ensure that when we bring back senior public servants, that we immediately join understudies to these senior public servants to be able to pour into them the institutional knowledge that they didn't, in some instances, leave behind. Last September, Glover Rolle said an audit of the public service was conducted, and the government will continue promoting lifelong learning and continuous skills development to ensure that public servants can meet the demands of a 21st century labor environment and develop leadership skills. She said, quote, "When we audited the public service, we discovered a hollow middle that we will fill through regularly scheduled promotions. To qualify public servants for these promotions, general training and education, as well as accredited leadership courses, will be vital in helping us with succession planning and leadership development. This will enable us to end the practice of bringing back retired leaders for their expertise and institutional knowledge." Well, all right. So,
Dwight.
yeah, you have a lot to say. Oh boy. Okay, that sounds like a lot of
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's first talk about the 1.9%. Because the number was given and then a percentage was given. And I'm assuming that the percentage was given to kind of say, without really saying, 1.9% is only a small amount of the civil servants who now work for the country. It's only 1.9%. And so that was, they're put there to soften the almost 500. But to my mind, 1.9%, that means that there are 500 other unemployed younger people who could have had an opportunity. That's the first thing. Let's talk about the skills gap. You say that this was done because you recognized that there was a skills gap. My thing is this. You were bringing back people who were in the system already, who, to my mind, did not adequately empower the next generation or their subordinates for when they would leave, retire from office. You didn't do it when you were there the first time. You didn't advocate for or make sure that these people had the training, that there was cross-training. You didn't do any of that the first time you were there working. But now we're going to trust you to come back and to make sure that these people are trained. Now, when we have to pay you your full pension and give you a salary, now you'll make sure that they have training. When do we stop this madness, Dwight?
Well, this is what she's
When
saying.
do we stop this madness? You are
They're trying to
telling me
stop it.
across the length and breadth. No. You telling me across the length and breadth of these different government agencies, we do not have people who are already in place who know how to do the jobs that these retirees were doing? That's what you're saying to me.
Wow. All right. So
what has been happening?
Yep.
What was happening the entire time?
Lots of
I'm
questions.
You are the supervisor. You are the whatever controller. I have been working under you as assistant controller, and I don't know what you were doing. I don't know the job well enough to carry on. You have to be brought back. Well, all of the assistants need to be fired because that's incompetence then.
Wow. All right, so we've got this is what Kimsey Ferguson is saying, the president of the Bahamas Public Service Union. He's calling Pia Glover Rolle's explanation a cop-out. He said in today's Nassau Guardian, in my view, that's a cop-out because the public service is structured in a way where from the top to the bottom, there are understudies in place who are positioned so that they can be prepared to assume top positions in the public service. He does not think nearly 500 retirees needed to be rehired and claimed many of them were political appointees who were brought back as thanks for their support, something he said has happened under successive administrations. Ferguson said, quote, "It shouldn't be happening. We have very competent public servants in senior positions who are capable. It has the morale in the public service very low. Every time a particular administration comes to office, we see people emerging from out of the various tombs. Wow. Some with their canes. Gosh. Who don't appear physically capable of getting the job done. Good Lord." He stressed that he has no issue with experienced civil servants continuing or contributing to the public sector, but said they should not be rehired to the positions they held before retiring. Ferguson says, if they want to fashion a committee of some sort, then do so and use these people for a period of time to assist with the backlog, but not to assume positions and disadvantage people from advancing, because those individuals are now on the time of the person who has not retired. So when are these people going to be able to be promoted to the top positions? He pointed to the Civil Service's general orders, which states that former or retired public servants can only be rehired if the vacancy cannot otherwise readily be filled. Ferguson says the Civil Service has undersecretaries who fall under permanent secretaries and can act in their absence. There are also deputy permanent secretaries. He says, quote, "The proper complement of these positions, particularly the undersecretary, are not where they should be." He said that if there are large skills gaps in the public service, the blame lies with the government. Saying, quote, "If there is no knowledge or if the skills have not been conveyed, then 1, it's an indictment on the government. 2, it's an indictment on the leader that would have been in place to not ensure that the person that was directly under them was prepared to assume the role as they demitted office. The work of the public service must go on, but we cannot continue to use the excuse that we have to continue to bring back these people. Then they are also putting a burden on the public purse because they're receiving pension plus salary, when there are officers in the prison and police officers who are supposed to be having the same benefit, but they're fighting like mad men trying to get what their entitlement is in relation to pension and gratuity. So when they come back to work, it's either one or the other." Boy. Okay. Lots being said there. I do want to play for you this note from the chairman of the PLP, Fred Mitchell, who was a former minister of public service as well, and his comments this morning. You definitely want to listen to this, folks. Take a listen to Fred Mitchell.
I want people to be very careful about adopting the propaganda that's going around about this issue of rehires in the public service. People ought to remember what the statistics are now saying. The population of our country is growing older. There's a shortage of young labor. And so much of what is happening is dictated by these demographic facts. So I'll start there. But secondly, if you check the record of the Progressive Liberal Party, the record is a stellar one on hiring young people. Since we've been in office, we've hired hundreds of police officers. We hired 351 RBDF officers. The F&M hired 264 in their time. 250 immigration officers, all under 30, have been hired. 214 prison officers, mostly under 30, have been hired. Then there's the National Youth Guard, labor on the blocks, the national training agents. Thousands of young people have been put on the payroll as a result of the Progressive Liberal Party being in office. So don't come with this stuff about we are anti-youth and all the rest of it. That is absolute nonsense. But you should also remember what the demographics are saying. In the 90s and in the 80s, there was a swath which was cut through this country as a result of HIV and AIDS and the crack epidemic. And many grandparents had to raise their grandchildren. They had to remortgage their houses and pay school fees. And when they came up to retirement, they were still owing bills. So the public policy decision had to be to make sure that these parents could raise their grandchildren. Now, if the F&M is against that, they need to say that. But don't come with this stuff. The facts are the PLP has hired thousands of young people. They've also caused many young people to survive by supporting their grandparents in their times of trouble. That's the truth, not the propaganda.
Okay, Fred Mitchell there.
Dwight? So then there isn't a skills gap. The issue is that we are helping grandparents who had to raise their grandchildren pay off their mortgages. So that's the real reason retirees were hired, because they still have bills, because they had to pay off, they had to help Is that it?
I don't know what's
Is
happening.
that the real reason? Because the minister
I don't think he
said
helped
there's
the
a
situation
skills
at all.
gap. The minister said there was a skills gap,
Pia
but
Glover
now,
role.
right. But that's not actually the case. We are helping them because they had to raise their grandchildren and remortgage their home, so they still have bills. And so we have to help them. That's why we hired almost 500 of them.
I think Pia Glover-Roll's comments were going to be acceptable to a lot of people. Perhaps not everybody, but Fred Mitchell just introduced some stuff that is really blurring the lines and muddying this water, and making it
And her, let me be
extremely
clear,
questionable what's going on here.
Her reasoning was not acceptable to me. I would like to know the dollar amount. I would like to know the dollar amount. That's what I would like to know. Since we have the percentage, we have the numbers. I would like to know the dollar amount because if we reference what Belinda Wilson also said, one rehire over $100,000 and car allowance and all the other perks. So I need to know now the dollar amount of the 480. I want to know the dollar amount of pension, and then I want to know the dollar amount that they are receiving. I want to know the dollar amount, and I want to know all the perks.
Wow. Okay, let's take these calls really quickly. We've got a whole lot of text messages too. We don't have much time, but let's take these as quickly as we can, folks. You got to make your points really quickly. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, this is my 5th time eligible to vote, and it's just simple. Politics at its finest. This is a global problem. We have a top-heavy economy, meaning just too much older population. People weren't encouraged to have children during the last 40 years. And also, too, it's just job security. We complain that we call the government offices, they don't answer the phone. We go, they have a terrible attitude. And we should do something about it. And the government did something about it. But the thing about it is, now that these people are going to teach the upcoming generation that, hey, don't give out all my secrets because you may most likely be called back for another job. Last point.
Oh, boy.
The former prime minister has been called back. But I know a particular gentleman who has worked 2 government jobs, retired twice, receiving 3 pensions, and is still working for a government office.
3?
So this is nothing new.
My God.
Just brought to the light. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay. Well, good Lord, 3 pensions. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Are you there? Hi, good morning, caller. All right, so you all are calling the lines, all 3 at the same time, okay. You're on the air. Good morning. Got 30 seconds.
Yeah. Dwight, I'm joining you, Laverne, and please providing the information that is necessary. Dwight, what this says is that essentially, if any of these people was to close their eyes, the government ministries would collapse. And it's an indictment. And if you listen at the 2%, it's just 2%, that means we got 25,000 individuals working for government. This does not include those temporary and this and that and all those other different things, right? And the state-owned enterprises. It tells us then if all these things are true, then we have catastrophically failed in the economic strategy of development for this country. So this then takes you back to the same fight that we're having for China and the United States. And we must have a conversation on that, right, in context of what the United States said, what China said, what has actually happened in our countries over the years, so that we could make our decision. But I think one of the most important points is that it shows us that we have no plan for this country. We are running it ad hoc. Yeah. And this is why we can't have an intelligent conversation with the 2 suitors, where one of them, we actually live in their house and we don't know. Imagine, Dwight, that you have a relationship, a husband or wife, and somebody else is trying to engage you in another relationship, and you don't even know what your husband and wife provides for you.
Wow. Crazy stuff.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. We got one more call. Yeah, can we do that? Good morning. You are on the air. Hi.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
And good morning, Laverne.
Got 30 seconds.
Hey, Dwight, Yeah, man. As a former civil servant who recently graduated, right? I mean, retired, right? The practice, what we are saying is nothing new, right? It's just that these people was called back for one reason, and that's trust, right? Because see, the administration need people in positions who could trust, who they know that they could trust to do what they have to do, right? So at the end of the day, this is only about keeping the people at hostage. Let me give you one little quick point. My son, I was trying to get a job at custom, and the people asked me I need, one of the requirements today for trying to get employed in custom, you need to get a letter from your member of parliament,
My
right?
God.
It's ludicrous.
Wow. That is insane. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Wow. Okay, these messages is let's squeeze them in. Caller, you got 30 seconds. Are you there? No. Okay. This text says, Dwight, both Pia Glover-Roll and Fred Mitchell just proved how our governments have been complicit in perpetrating or perpetuating this gift that keeps on giving, which causes our young behemoths to seek a better world, better way of life elsewhere. This one says here, the government interferes too much with these agencies. They place their political hires in these ministries, and they are arrogant. Some of them are in managerial positions, and they refuse to train. The young people are leaving because every day it's a slap in the face. Chronic issues continue because the same old people keep bad cultures in the ministries. Wow. Laverne and Dwight, only way you get one of the jobs is if you're born in the 1940s and 50s. We have a prime minister who's 75 this year. What else do we expect? We will look out. He will look out for his peers. Oh, boy. Okay. This texter is accusing Fred Mitchell of gaslighting. Another person says here, how long has this question been unanswered? Because if there is a grand plan of retraining and succession planning, shouldn't this be unusual and something that could have been answered immediately? I don't believe there is no space for young people. We need qualified people in key roles no matter their age. If the young people need a skill, read, take a course. You cannot go through your career expecting someone to spoon feed you everything you need to learn. The value of experience is in the ability to guide. The heavy brain lifting is still up to the individual. Okay. And this person says, did Fred Mitchell blame the AIDS epidemic for the rehire of 500 retired civil servants? In the name of Jesus. That's a text. What the heck, the editing, did I just hear? I need help with my mortgage too, and I have 3 daughters, impending grandkids. I need help. Oh boy. Lots of criticism for Fred Mitchell. This is absolutely ridiculous. Wow. So you're telling me Prime Minister Davis endorsed that explanation? We need to bring our qualified Bahamians who migrated to Canada and the U.S. Wow. Glover-Roll's explanation is simply a lie, what you like to call an untruth. Whoa. There's so much wrong with this issue, you can have an entire week of shows on this topic. My goodness gracious. I'm with Laverne. Show me the facts. What's the cost of hiring these geriatric individuals, and also show me the data as it relates to the shortage of young skilled labor. Ask Mitchell about jobs for the young persons with degrees that can possibly fill the more high-level jobs that these returning retirees now fill. This is why there is brain drain in our country. Another text says, we go to the break. 80% of Bahamians are all talk and no action. This double and triple dipping is nothing new. It just happens more under one party than the other. You sure about that? Unions only fight for money and working conditions. If they're not fighting for this to stop, why do you think there will be change? With repetitive talking and no action. It's sad. Wow. And this person says here, please read my text in its entirety. Okay, this is very long. You will not be defaming anyone. Calling some names. Retired as a commissioner of police. He was sent to another country. He brought back to Nassau and is now a PS in a department here. When are qualified young people getting opportunity to serve in these positions? Surely he's not the only qualified Bahamian to hold these various positions. This is absolutely disheartening, but yet you can't rehire a nurse. You go through heck to be rehired, and many of the nurses have specialties. Wow. Wow. As the texter says, you could probably have tons of shows on this, and we'll probably continue with this conversation, Laverne, over the next few days. But we got to go to a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Spain sounds like this. But with a little Caribbean, it can sound like this. The world needs more Caribbean. And with FedEx, you can ship your products to every corner with increased cargo capabilities, 24/7 shipment tracking, and shipping tools. Take your business worldwide and enjoy life a bit more like us.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Better Lampkin. Besides carrying all the roofing material needed to cover East End, Enterprises also has all the equipment needed to put it together and to protect your workers. At Enterprises, we got hand tools, power and manual, including hacksaws, hammers, mauls, wrecking bars, well, hopefully they won't need them yet, drill bits, tapes, plumb bobs, levels, and more. We got cement, concrete bond and fiber, lime, sand, and P-rock. We got dust masks, safety glasses, gloves, hard hats, and high visibility vests. Lampkin, what we got here at Enterprises is a one-stop shop for builders.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
I am sure that you insure your car, your home, and you might take out health insurance. Did you know that your Bahamian dollar deposits are also insured?
Really? How so?
The Bahamas Deposit Insurance Corporation, DIC, provides financial protection with immediate coverage without any additional charges, up to a maximum of $50,000 per depositor.
$50,000?
$50,000? Think I break it?
That's right. Your deposits, whether a joint account, business account, trust, or your personal savings, are all protected by the DIC.
Yeah, boy.
But what if a bank runs into problems, you ask? Rest assured, your deposit and interest are calculated up to the date of closure, and payouts are made promptly, whether you're a local or non-resident.
I like the sound of that. Sign me up.
Just open an account with a bank or credit union that is a member of the deposit insurance, and that's it. You are automatically covered, no extra paperwork, no added cost. The Bahamas Deposit Insurance Corporation. Peace of mind assured, your deposits secure.
Spain sounds like this. But with a little Caribbean, it can sound like this. The world needs more Caribbean. And with FedEx, you can ship your products to every corner with increased cargo capabilities, 24/7 shipment tracking, and shipping tools. Take your business worldwide and enjoy life a bit more like us.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
Got your final look at weather for the morning, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. Here's what's happening. We've got a relatively dry cold front currently across South Florida. That's going to move into the Bahamas, the northern islands by this morning, and that's going to gradually make its way towards the central Bahamas by tonight. Strong gusty winds and cooler temperatures finally will follow as high pressure progressively builds in across the northern islands. So that cold front's going to eventually exit the southeast Bahamas by late Friday. High pressure is going to support continental air mass along with brisk breezes through to Saturday. And we're going to have our first cool down in over a month. By Sunday, that front's going to weaken and meander across the southern islands as a weak low pressure system forms off the coast of Georgia and South Carolina. All of this is going to disrupt the ridging pattern. And cloudy conditions will keep temperatures close to what should be the norm around this time of the year. Another cold front is going to move into the area by early Tuesday of next week. That one is going to bring possibly heavy showers and thunderstorms for the start of next week. We've got a near gale watch coming into effect as of noon today for the northern Bahamas and by this evening for the rest of the northwest Bahamas. And there's an elevated risk of rip currents across the northwest and northern Bahamas. So for the northern islands, as the front moves in today, partly cloudy to cloudy conditions today, up to a 30% chance of showers. A mix of sun and clouds for the rest of the northwest Bahamas, cloudy by this afternoon. The rest of the country, partly and mostly sunny, turning partly cloudy to fair tonight for the central and southeastern islands. Temperatures today, most of us will see highs near 83, 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius, a bit cooler for the northern islands. Overnight lows for the northern islands in the low 60s, in the mid 60s for the rest of us. In your extended outlook for Friday, cloudy to occasionally overcast across most of the country, partly sunny for the southeast Bahamas. By Saturday, you're going to see those changes as the front fully moves through, partly cloudy to cloudy highs in the upper 70s, finally in the low 60s for lows at night. Warming up a bit by Sunday, but cloudy to occasionally overcast, a 20 to 40% chance of showers near the front. A mix of sun and clouds for the start of your work week on Monday. And then, as we said, possibly some big changes by Tuesday, Wednesday. That's your morning blend weather check. Weather check also brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Easy Car Sales, reminding you that this is the month of love, and roses are red, violets are blue, EVs are green, and nicer for you. Test drive an electric vehicle at Easy Car Sales today and fall in love with an EV. Enter for your chance to win a 2-night stay at the Grand Hyatt and a $500 resort credit. Visit easy242.com and start a new relationship today with an electric vehicle from Easy Car Sales.
Moment from Shelley and Dee Dee.
We're the only full art store in the Bahamas. If we don't have it, we make a list, and trust me, our boss can get that. If you need that, he can get that. You can find sketchbooks, acrylics, the canvases in all sizes, stencils. We have the Angelus that they use on shoes and letters. We're the only persons in Nassau that carries the Montana spray. We have the Krylon sprays, watercolor and paints, the oil, chalk paints, the alcohol paint, metallic paints, the little Floetrol, and we have cleaning products for the artists, thinning products for the artists, and Crayola colors, and glitters, pencils, the Posca markers, and pastels, oil, and the acrylic pastels, dyes. Oh yeah, we also have airbrush paint. I didn't forget that part of the movie. Gift sets, hobby craft,
Oil shrimp, stew shrimp, shrimp gumbo. But art supplies, we have a lot of them. Sherwin-Williams Art Store. Find colour in every day.
Ooh, yeah. Mm, mm, yeah. Can we have a conversation? Just wanna talk, nothing complicated. I wanna know what's on your mind. It ain't no rush, baby. Take your time.
We are back with Morning Blend. We're going to get to Morning Blend business in just a bit with our friends from the Small Business Development Center. But we're having a conversation. We're talking about coffee and conversations. A special event this weekend. Our dear friend, Morning Blend co-host Duquesa Dean is with us, and she's brought along some friends: Anita Rolle, Chauntel Williams, and Andrea Pratt Smith. Duquesa, good morning. Great to have you with us.
Good morning. Happy Thursday, Dwight. Happy Thursday, Laverne. So good to be here with you guys today.
Good morning.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Great to have all of you with us. All right, so Duquesa, tell us about this coffee and conversations. What's exactly happening here?
Absolutely. It's named Coffee and Conversation, but it's actually an event with a full breakfast. This is the second time we're holding this event for women only. It is a safe space, an intimate gathering for women who are really ready to engage in real dialogue that can help, transform their lives. We have a mixture of women who attended last time, different generations, different ages, and the power in that room was being able to share stories that were relevant, that young people could listen to the wisdom and advice of the elders, but also the elders were open to listening to what the young people were going through because we can all learn from each other. So essentially, it's a safe space where women can be vulnerable, they can ask questions, they can share experiences. So it's like mentorship with breakfast. And how it's set up is that you have 10 people at a table, so you're not speaking to the entire room, but you're talking to the women at your table. So this is for the person who wants to grow personally, who may be overwhelmed and not sure how to move forward, who may want to elevate in their careers or having challenges with their relationships, or maybe someone that just wants support and community in life because community is so important.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what do you have to do to be a part of it? What are the details there?
Well, this event is on Saturday coming, February 22nd, and our featured speaker at this event is Dr. E. That's Dr. Edrika Richardson. To participate and to come out and hear from Dr. Richardson and enjoy breakfast is a $40 cost. You can get your tickets in advance. You can pay by cash or by credit card. This event is being held at Le Chateau, which is formerly Montagu Gardens, in the same yard as Waterloo. So anyone wanting to get involved or get tickets can call me directly at 424-6012.
Okay, all right. So, Anita, Chauntel, Andrea, you've all taken part before, or is this going to be your first time? Tell us about that. Who wants to go first?
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, everyone.
Hi.
This is actually my second time attending. I attended the first one,
Okay.
and I can tell you it was a tremendous experience. It was indeed a time for sharing, and a time for discussion, a time for realignment, and also it was like a reboot for me, more or less. Because we all come into the new year with goals, objectives, things that we want to accomplish, and the potholes of life can sometimes be discouraging, and it's so important to connect in that way with other women who can help you, along the way, give you the encouragement you need, and also can also change your perspective. So I would encourage every woman to get a ticket and ensure that they are out on Saturday to attend Coffee and Conversations. It's going to be a tremendous time.
Wow, Anita, thank you so much. Andrea, Chauntel?
Hi, good morning. This is Chauntel. I attended it last year and it was very informative. I'm a kind of a shy person, so I don't like big groups, but it started out with everybody talking as a group, and then we broke down into small sections where we were at tables, and it was more intimate, and you got to know the women at your table. They were able to be open and honest and be able to relate to you things that happen in their lives, and you were able to share and not learn. And the thing that I most took away from it was that the confidentiality about it, where what happened at that table stayed at that table. It wasn't discussed at other tables or with anybody else. So it's definitely a safe space.
Okay, wonderful stuff. And what about you, Andrea?
Well, this, like the other ladies, this will be my second time as well joining Coffee and Conversations, and I had to be a return attendee because I gained so much value from attending the first time at the inaugural event. And what I took away from it was the building of community. I am strong on community building. In my role as a project management consultant and trainer, I'm all about community and I understand the value of it. And being in this session, it helped us to not only make those general connections, but also those one-on-one intimate connections. And we continued that community even after the event because we have a WhatsApp group. We support each other with everything that we're doing professionally or personally. And so the community building is not just a one-off event. It continues throughout. And Duquesa makes sure that, we are connected, we're thriving, we're supporting each other, and that the relationships remain consistent, not transactional. So it's not that you come there, you meet somebody, you sell something, and we're not about selling and promoting. We're about encouraging, motivating, and uplifting. So I really enjoy my experience, and I'm looking forward to Saturday's event.
Excellent. So Duquesa, you know how this goes. You knew this was coming. Text here from our usual suspects. I'm curious about the women-only event. If women want to collaborate and communicate with men in life and business, how would excluding the input of men help them to be better collaborators with men whom they must liaise with? And will they be holding a men's-only event soon?
Well, this event, Coffee and Conversations, is designed to help women evolve into the best versions of themselves that they can possibly be. So this is about woman development. This is about them learning who they are, learning what their values are, learning what they want in life, learning from the mistakes of other women, just getting a good direction for their purpose and for their life, and to avoid making similar mistakes in the future. That in itself helps women to be better for men. Now, for men and their gathering, I will put it to the texter to organize it, put it together, help men become men. Men are not interested in being told what to do by women. So if men get together and they support one another, we better communities as well. So my mandate and my task is to help women evolve, help women get through trauma, help women overcome situations and have unlimited vision for their future. And by doing that, I am helping women to become great mates for men should they want to marry.
Yeah,
I hope that helps the texter.
I hope so too. Sir, get it together. Start it. And we'll have you on the show to promote it, right? I could give you a name even. But yeah, just do it as Duquesa is doing. So one more time, Duquesa, let everyone know how to be a part of Coffee and Conversations this Saturday.
So just call me or WhatsApp me directly at 424-6012. We do have about 13 tickets available because we have a cap. We want to make sure that the room stays intimate. And so we do have 13 tickets available for sale. The tickets are $40 each. Once you purchase your ticket, you can purchase it by credit card or by bank transfer. And your ticket will be at the door waiting for your arrival when you check in.
Okay. And again, it's at Le Chateau.
Le Chateau on East Bay Street, formerly Montagu Gardens, in the same yard as Waterloo. It starts at 9 a.m. on Saturday. And you can look forward to a fabulous time. One thing the participants will tell you that I always go above and beyond. There's going to be more value than you pay for. Your breakfast will probably cost more than $40. This event is not for profit. This event is to bring women together and to really cultivate community. So we hope to see those 13 spots filled on Saturday morning.
Excellent stuff. Duquesa Dean, thank you so much. Anita Rolle, Chauntel Williams, and Andrea Pratt Smith, thank you for being here and sharing your experiences as well. Again, it's Coffee and Conversations, and good luck. I know you're going to have a great time on Saturday.
Thank you, Dwight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dwight.
All right. We're going to take a break.
Bye-bye.
When we come back, SBDC is going to be with us. We're talking about their Entrepreneurs with Disabilities Initiative. Great one there. We're going to get all the details after the break. Stay with us.
It's open doors, no right or wrong. There ain't no specific dialogue. And self-expression doesn't make you weak, no.
On Saturday, February 22nd, 2025 at 7 p.m., the Bahama Convention Center will set the stage for an unforgettable celebration of 25 years of giving back and supporting healthcare education in the Bahamas. Experience a night of excitement with exquisite fine dining, captivating live entertainment, and an inspiring atmosphere as we come together to celebrate and shape a brighter, healthier future. Tickets are available now. Reserve your spot today by emailing dhfoundation@doctorshots.com or calling 242-302-4640. Sponsorship opportunities are also available to show your support for this important cause. The Doctors Hospital Meyer Rassin Foundation, 25 years of transforming healthcare and building a legacy. Don't miss this special celebration.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger? With a flavor so secret, it's almost too delicious to handle. Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
It's the lottery of love that everybody wins.
I love you.
Everybody Wins is giving away over $100,000 in cash prizes in the lottery of love.
I love you.
All February long, every $20 spent, you'll receive a raffle ticket. The more you spend, the more chances to win. And you could be among the 30 winners randomly selected on February 28th to win $10, $20, or even $30,000.
I love you.
It's the lottery of love at Everybody Wins. Remember to game responsibly and get ready to win.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
You're a builder. You want to give your client the best material at the best prices, and you need to put food on the table. Well, check out these prices at Pinder Enterprises. 5/8 pressure-treated roofing ply starting at $36.68, includes VAT. By the way, all these prices include VAT. Great Select Water Shield, $134.20 a roll. Felt, 15 pounds, $16.50, 30 pounds, $19.80. Owens Corning Duration Shingles and Certainty Landmark Shingles, $56.56 a bundle. Gallon Roof Cement, $33.47. When it comes to screwing and nailing, Pinder got you covered. He got every nail and screw you could possibly need.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from around the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Are you ready to elevate your day with a burst of flavor? Look no further than Dunkin', your ultimate destination for everything delicious. From our freshly brewed coffee that is sure to pick you up, to our signature frozen beverages that will cool you down. And don't forget our mouth-watering sandwiches, made to order all day. Dunkin' has it all. And of course, our lineup of fresh donuts, muffins, and more. Dive into a world of yummy flavors at Dunkin' and bring joy to your day. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Attention, valued customers of the Water and Sewage Corporation. We wish to inform you that our office at the Mall of Marathon will be closing on Friday, February 28th, 2025. But don't worry, we are making it easy for you to continue managing your accounts with us from the comfort of your home or on the go. We encourage you to take advantage of our convenient digital payment options. Visit our website at wsc.com.bs to make payments securely. Call us at 302-5630 to pay by phone, or use your preferred financial institution to pay directly. Switching to these online options helps you save time and ensures you never miss a payment. We are here to make your experience as smooth and easy as possible. Thank you for being a valued customer, and we look forward to serving you in new ways.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, February 20th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner, and it's a special Thursday edition of our series with Small Business Development Center. And this morning, we're very pleased to have back with us Executive Director Anita Rolle, and from the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, Erin Brown. Great to have you both with us. Great to have you back. Samantha, always, every month we see you almost, and Erin's been a little while, but it's always a pleasure to have you with us.
Happy Greta Thursday.
Good morning. Good morning.
And we're going to talk about which we found out about it a lot earlier in the month with our special monthly series on disabilities, issues affecting people with disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the amazing Entrepreneurs with Disabilities initiative that you have at SBDC. So we're going to get an update on that. But Erin, you're telling us off air that you have a special connection to Grand Bahama and to Laverne. Oh boy.
I was
waiting. I was gonna be like really calm, Dwight, but I couldn't hold it anymore. You have Erin there and you have Samantha.
Laverne, I just told Dwight he's gonna be so jealous. He's gonna be so jealous.
Oh, Dwight, are you still there?
I might as well leave, eh? Let you all
Might
just
as
take over
well.
the rest of the show. So Erin was telling us about the connection. Tell us more.
Yes. So Laverne, I was telling him how I started learning sign language. And believe it or not, it was because of the group at Calvary Temple, Sign of the Times.
Signs of the Times.
Yes. And you were a part of, I told them we took it up a notch when it came to liturgical dancing.
Yes, we
actually
did.
signed. We learned the sign language. So during the songs, we signed while we danced.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And so I thank you for that, because that has played a huge role in my journey as a disabled mother, entrepreneur. I mean, you had no idea. I had no idea, but
right where that would lead.
Yes.
Wow. So Laverne, you know sign language.
So Dwight, you jealous?
I'm impressed. That's wonderful. Every week you impress me, but I'm so much more impressed now. That's beautiful stuff.
Listen, my
Beautiful
skills are
dancing.
rusty. I don't know how much I know, so I don't want to wound that.
Okay. All right.
I got you covered. I got you covered.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Wow. All right.
You see
And-
this sisterhood? Samantha,
Hi.
good morning.
Good morning, my dear.
All right. So I think I
Okay,
have
Dwight, you could
walk.
go back now. Carry on smartly.
All right. So we've been learning. You're in the middle of cohort 1 now. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
In terms of the entrepreneurs with disabilities. So Dwight, last year, 2024, I think SPDC had a tremendous year. And we could not have done it without our partners, without the team at SPDC. And we had a pinnacle at the end of the year when we did our announcement of this program.
Right.
This program entrepreneurs with disabilities in partnership with the Commission for Persons with Disabilities, along with the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture. And through this partnership, we curated a program, a very much needed program. And it started just based on conversations with Nalini Bethel and a few others and Aaron. And we said we had to do this.
Yeah.
And so we curated this program. We announced it December of last year. And so we are wrapping up the training aspect of the program. And it's a self-paced training. And it's all a part of our business blueprint. And we made the adjustments that were needed in order to be inclusive and to facilitate inclusion for those to participate in that self-paced program, training aspect of it. And so as we're wrapping that up, we have so many other elements or components of this program. And one of the major ones coming up soon, March 6th, is around the Enable Forum and Expo. And, Erin is not only a part of the commission, not only in her own right in terms of being an inclusion consultant, but she's also a mentor for this program. Right. And we wanted to make sure that, for anyone, you would want in a mentor someone that can relate to you, that can understand your circumstance, your experiences. And so we have it with assistance from the commission, we have curated a tremendous list of great mentors within the community, and they're doing a fantastic job. I mean, we have our own mentors WhatsApp group, and so we engage and we toss ideas about what it is that we can do to even make sure that this program is as successful as we envision it to be.
Right.
And so that's the forum. But there is this other component of this program that is just as important, and that's around the advocacy aspect of this. And so we wanted to make sure that we heighten the visibility, the campaign awareness around persons with disabilities, or even, as it said, differently abled individuals who are also entrepreneurs. Yeah. And so I just, I know I'm talking because I'm super excited about this program.
No, it's very exciting. We have lots of questions as well.
Yes.
Right. So I don't know if a lot of people thought that was a thing here, that we had entrepreneurs with disabilities. Let's talk about it. How many people are we talking about here, and what sorts of businesses are they involved in?
So I know thus far, in terms of the training, we had about 66, I want to say roughly 70 participants. And, in terms of industry and types of business, they actually vary, right? I just met the other day, one of our entrepreneurs with disabilities has a fly fishing business in Exoma. And so he's doing great things in that industry.
What type of disability can you say?
Yes. So he is amputee, his arm.
Yes.
And so they call him the one.
We come with all type of coins. Bionic Brown, Bionic Man. Yeah.
Does that help him with the fly fishing? I mean,
he's
maybe, right?
Come and find out.
He's doing it.
It's part of the experience.
Yeah. And so we have other entrepreneurs who have product-based services, who have professional services. And we're engaging a number of persons that are doing tremendous things in this country.
Yeah, that's
and so I
cool.
think that's another thing to say, that this isn't something that's happening outside of the Bahamas.
Right.
This is happening right here.
Yeah. And definitely a disability does not need to hold you back.
No, and it doesn't. And I think what this program also allows us to showcase and also to give our participants, because some of these participants are not new entrepreneurs. They've been in business for decades. They have expertise, knowledge, credentials. They have trained non-disabled persons. They have supported projects that were high-end projects, community projects that were all successful. successful. And the fact that it's not just Nassau, not just New Providence, it is throughout the Bahamas. We have given access to and to showcase and for them to be empowered with also the network. Because for a lot of times we feel like we're doing it on our own. We're just struggling. What this program allows us to do is change that struggling word, that feeling, that energy. And I think it's like for me, a transition. I went from struggling to striving. And so striving is when you start to get your footing and you start to realize your value and you meet other persons like yourself, or you meet allies who may be non-disabled persons, but they're allies. They see where you're going and they're like, you know what? I need you in my business. I need you in this project. I need to show them that this can be done.
Yeah.
Because disability is a part of us as a whole person, as gender, as religion. All of these things are parts of a whole person. For too long, we have allowed society and even ourselves to not proudly identify as a disabled person, because it is part of our identity. It's not a bad word. And because
no shame in it.
There is absolutely no shame. And the longer we shy away from it, we're not going to be included in the data collection. We're not going to be included in the funding, in the projects. They're not going to know that we're educated, that we run businesses, that we have goals, that we play sports, that we fly fish with one arm. Like, listen, it is important that this program not only was launched in the way that it did, but it's organically and authentically progressing, because each mentor have about maybe 10 persons that we meet either in persons, virtually once a week. We have a minimum of an hour, but we find that we're talking to them like every day. The hour done pass and we don't care, because we're like, guess what? I need to introduce you to somebody else. What are we talking about today? And you watch their confidence. You watch them go from sitting there saying, well, I'm not sure if this really what I want to do. That's fine. That's what the human experience is. You need to figure it out. We're here to help you figure it out.
Yeah. Tell us a little more about that as a mentor, how that works. What are you supposed to be doing? And you said how this can become an everyday thing.
Yes.
But tell us more about it.
So for me as a mentor, it has been such a rewarding and affirming experience. So when persons generally meet me, they'd be like, oh my God, here's the energy goddess. Like, this chick does not stop. She's always smiling. She's always laughing. She's always giving, energy and inspiration. And then I meet these persons who have never met me, never heard about me, and they're telling me their story. I'm asking them specifics about their business. And then I say to them, okay, but how are you doing? Right? And a lot of them go, what? I'm like, no, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Because a part of this process is not just about focusing on the business itself. We're showing up as mentors. We're showing up for you so that you can show up for you.
Yeah.
And so we want to also give you access on how you're feeling, how you're showing up. A lot of them said, well, I was told I have a disability. I don't have a disability.
Oh, wow.
Right? And that's common because we've been taught not to identify. We've been taught to hide. We've been taught to kind of, but. So what I found with my mentees, when we have that conversation and I give them the importance and I validate who they are living with their disability, the resilience that you have, the ideas, the creativity, the innovation that you have earthed within you is because of your lived experiences. It's because of that disability. It's because of those barriers. It's because of social pressures and even your own pressures why you show up the way you do. Own it. Own it. And so we find a lot of the mentees now, when they're talking and when they're coming, they're saying, okay, so Ms. Brown, I went and I did this. And they were looking at me like, what you trying to do? And I'm like, well, I'm an entrepreneur. And this is what my business, because we work on pitch too.
Yeah.
You have 30 to 60 seconds. You gotta lock them in. And so we work on that. So now when we're talking every week and we give them the flexibility of when and how, because you have some mentors that meet for breakfast. Can you invite me too? I'd like to meet for breakfast and lunch. Let's make it a whole team thing, right? But we're meeting them where they're at. And that is what marginalized groups have missed. Whether you speak a different language, you're not originally from the Bahamas, you're living with a disability, you're living with medical diagnosis that sometimes, some days you're good, some moments you're not, and you need to still show up.
Yeah.
We haven't been given full access. And what this program is showing in real time for all of us, the public, corporations, communities, people, allies, sponsors, investors, that they exist and they are ready. And who are not ready are getting ready. So we need you to get ready too.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Erin said a lot there, Samantha. This is a life-changing program.
I think so. And I think that, when you talk about impact, right, that's real impact.
Yeah.
That's real impact in terms of not just from an individual as a whole person, that individual being an entrepreneur, then impacting their livelihood, their family, but then also impacting the community and a nation, right? Because we want to be able to have a country that is inclusive, as well as from an economic standpoint to where we allow people to move from dependency to self-sufficiency.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thrive.
Right? To thrive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so these programs are curated to do just that. And doing that, part of our mission, part of our goal, all a part of advocacy is to make sure that the public is aware, that the public is cognizant, that the public and the private sector, public sector is active in these things because it impacts you,
right,
whether you realize it or not.
And in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way, because when we think about talent, when we think about retention, when we're thinking about recruiting and hiring, attracting, advancing, retaining persons, the disabled communities, experts, professionals, we have missed that market in entirety.
Yeah.
And if you find, even if you go to Harvard Business Statistics, it shows you that your disabled talent population, your workforce, yields more productivity for your business, profitability for your business, more loyalty, more brand recognition, more community impact, more economic value when you ensure that your workforce is diverse.
Wow. And we've been talking about this this morning. We have an older population, a lot of people who are not as physically able as they were perhaps when they were younger. So we have to really be thinking about this as the population demographics shift in the country.
Especially in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
I feel like we miss our value of how small we are, but how great we are. We have such a population of persons who have not only the expertise, but the audacity to show up and learn, to show up and not only assess where they're at, but to give you their all. Even if they're making minimum wage, even if they're just starting entry level, they have some lived experiences, they have some networks from all ages that we have not tapped into.
Yeah.
And this program allows our disabled business owners, those who have been in business, because a lot of you didn't register. A lot of you are sitting there saying, well, that ain't for me. That's entrepreneurs. I want you to know today, this is a we conversation, because you have some of these entrepreneurs and business owners who were non-disabled. And because of an accident, an incident, a medical diagnosis, they are now living within the demographic of disabled persons.
Yeah.
Did that stop their goals? Did that stop their vision? Did that stop their business? They did not allow it to.
Yeah, yeah.
So now they have the accessible and inclusive support through these type of programs with SBDC.
So that's a good point. And so I think we need some definitions here, because some people might not be thinking that, you actually have a disability here.
Yeah, so all of it is included. And I think sometimes, and again, it may just be a stigma, you only look at the physical, right? When it's not just the physical, it's sensory, it's hearing, it's vision, it's all of those that are included. And so cognitive as well. So all of those are included. And what we've done through this program, because we aren't the experts, right? And so we have engaged the experts like Aaron, like the commission, and through the commission, which is also important for persons with disabilities to register with the commission. And so they are able to get the support that they need from the commission. And so through registering with the commission, you know, they send us their confirmation that, hey, you know, this person should be in this program. And so that's how we've vetted along the way. I want to also point out, you know, as Laverne is in Grand Bahama, that again, I must say that this program is not Nassau centric. This program encompasses all across the archipelago. And so we are engaging those persons in Eleuthera. We are engaging those persons in Exuma, in Grand Bahama,
Long Island.
Long Island. I mean, we have mentees across the Bahamas, participants across the Bahamas. And we will begin to showcase some of these people very, very soon.
Yes,
bring them on the show.
Very soon.
We can comment here.
That's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, so there's a financial component to this as well.
Yeah, so we usually set up our programs to have a grant component, and so there would be grant funding available up to $10,000. You know, obviously you're gonna get past the training aspect. There are some activities that are happening, like the forum and expo, and then the grant application has been open for a few weeks now. And so the grant application is still open, and so we encourage those to apply.
You have to be going through the program to apply for that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So if you miss that, you have to be part of the next cohort.
Yes.
Any idea when that will be?
The next cohort. So we intend to run this this year. So we launched last year December. We plan to launch again this year December, God willing.
All right. Great stuff. You mentioned the expo. Give us a little more details about that. When is that going to be?
So the Enable Forum and Expo, we had that scheduled for March 6th. I think we've already started to promote that and advertise that across our social media platforms. We're engaging where there will be panel experts, speakers on various topics related to this, as well as having an actual expo. So we will have vendors, persons, entrepreneurs with disabilities as vendors at the expo, showcasing their products and services. We would have businesses who are within the community providing products and services who will also be part of the expo. And so it's exciting. It's extremely exciting.
It is. It is. And I would say if you had missed the grant opportunity, missed signing up, March 6th at the University of the Bahamas Performing Arts Center. That is the Kevra and Bethel building off Poinciana. You do not want to miss it. It's free 99. You pay no money, but you come in and you not only get to see persons, hear persons, ask questions, you get to engage the different vendors that are there. It will be live streamed because once again, we want to ensure access. So it's going to be live streamed. So you're going to be able to tune in as well through the social media platforms, as well as online if you can't make it in. But I encourage you, if you are a current business that provides services, even organizations, visibility, like Samantha said, is important. And for very long, too long, we ourselves haven't showed up for ourselves. This is the opportunity and the time for us to do it. There's no excuses. We need you to show up, whether it's online, whether it's in person, whether you send a friend, whether if we got to come together as a community. In your neighborhood, you know somebody. In your neighborhood, you know that there are persons in your neighborhood that want to move forward. Help them get there. That is what this is about, because then that community can have the impact and the influence and the value of that neighbor who is doing things that more than likely meets a need, because that's what business and entrepreneurs is about. We find a need, we fill a need. So we want you to come out on March 16th. We want you to tune in. We want you to follow us on Facebook, SBDC Bahamas. We want you to connect by any way necessary. No, because a lot of times we sit there and say, well, why don't people show up and why don't people do this?
Yeah.
It's because of us.
Okay, so
We're
let me get this straight.
anxious.
So if you provide services for people with disabilities, you need to be a part of it.
Accessible services. So if it's in healthcare and education, if it is home care, if it is building, construction, if it's wheelchairs, if it's adaptive cars, if it's any innovation, prosthetics, orthotics, all of those industries, we need you to come out because people need to know that you exist. If they don't know you exist, they're not going to know where to come. March 6th.
You can still sign up if you provide those.
Yes.
They can still reach out. Like I said, we have the flyer out there. There's a QR code where we're, still looking for vendors.
Okay.
So yes, they can sign up. They can reach out to the office, spdcbahamas.com, which is the website. They can call us 461-7232. But yes, there's still an opportunity to participate.
And so folks in the program now, will they be a part of the expo as well? Will they be showing? Okay. So it's going to be a little bit of everything going on. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is very exciting.
Absolutely.
And again, that's March 6th.
March 6th.
Yes.
Wow. All right. So you mentioned it earlier, Samantha, about advocacy work. And tell us more about that, what you are trying to do in terms of legislation and changing legislation in the country. And both of you can jump in on that one.
Yeah, so I'll start. And then obviously Erin, who's been advocating and an ambassador for many, many years. And so the other component of this program has to do with policy influence. And if our ultimate goal is to foster inclusion, we need to make sure that we have the enabling environment, whether it's through proper legislation as well as policy, in order to do that. Right. And I know that there are a number of participants. We say, sign up. We've been asking them to apply for the grant. And we know that one of our requirements is that we provide funding to formalized businesses. And what that means is that you must have a business license, right? In order for you to get that, you have to go through the normal process. We do know that there are a number of persons who would like to start their business, but are afraid to because they currently receive benefits and or assistance from the state.
Yeah.
And the minute that
Evans was explaining this,
and so
the challenge.
It is a challenge, and we have had discussions with, and I know specifically it's with the National Insurance Board. So we've had a number of discussions. We're still in discussions, and we are hopeful that we'll be able to come to some compromise or some way that we can assist. At least perhaps with those who are participating in this particular program. And maybe we test it, we use it as a trial, we follow it, we collect the data, and we see how we can then reform programs in the future to make sure, as well as inform any adjustments we need to have made from a legislative standpoint.
What am I missing? It doesn't sound too complicated. It doesn't sound like something that right requires
it's
am I missing something?
It's not a new issue. It is an old timed issue where we as a society is saying, why aren't these persons working? Why are they here asking for help, asking for support? And it's because it is designed that way, that once you are receiving support, not full support, because when you receive certain benefits from national insurance or certain government agency benefits from social service, it's not intended to be a fully supported funding to you. It is there to help and assist, but it's stopping you. It's stopping you from now taking it further to garner your own full support, whether it is by self-employment or being employed, hired by someone, because the system is designed. If you do gain full employment or part-time employment, you lose those benefits.
Okay.
And so it's not a new problem. It's not a new issue. But I think what this program allows us to do, where the cry is not just amongst the people, it brings and it addresses the gaps that has been existing. The National Commission has advocated from time on this one matter, because how are we asking persons to be independently supported, to be go-getters, to share their innovation when they can't do it without knowing that they're going to lose everything that is due to them constitutionally, because this is things that they've paid into. This is things that are designed to support you when you're going through this period, but it has revealed the loop of once you get it, you can't do nothing
Very
else.
interesting. At a time when we've got people, retirees, getting pensions, sometimes two pensions and a full
Like,
salary.
don't start
You
me
would
up
think,
on
no,
that
I'm
again
just saying,
today.
right? You would think this
Yeah,
would
but
not be that
these
much
are
of
the
an issue.
things. These are the real issues that we are facing that need to be addressed. So that's an excellent point.
My
We're
goodness.
paying someone their full pension and we're bringing them back on so they're getting a salary when we're facing this, when we have people who, like Erin so eloquently and truthfully stated it, that they're afraid now to contribute. They're afraid to put themselves out there because they're going to lose the support.
Yes. And I think that helps, and that brings us to what I really wanted to also talk about. Now that we know that there's that gap, and we're working on this area of amnesty, or maybe a trial period, and now we're talking about partnerships. I'm going to feel our community kind of feel scared about partnerships, because we've learned kind of not to trust the people who is designed to kind of help us. Like, what's the catch? Hold on, partnership, what's the catch? Right? But that's a human experience about partnerships. That's not being sure of how this will turn out. That's the risk we take every day as entrepreneurs and business owners. So I don't want this P word, partnerships, to now deter persons from continuing forward. This is part of the process. Part of the process is, even if you are an independent business owner or sole proprietor, you have had allies, you have had partners. It may not have been formalized, but they have shown up for you. They have bought your products, they have marketed, they have sponsored you, they have referred you, they have provide shipping. Those are your partners. So I need you to really look and reassess of how a partnership agreement may work for you in your space that gives you the ultimate voice and the ultimate more calming action of this is the next step. Because a lot of times we want to do everything on our own, and that's just not how it works. But I'm glad that this conversation is now to an area where SBDC can come on as an ally with the National Commission, where NIB has been so open to sit down and let's talk about it. And let's see how we can deal with legislation and policy. But we know legislation and policy takes time. Unfortunately, it takes time when it comes to this. It may not take time for some other things, but it takes time when it comes to this. So we want to do our due diligence, but give you another step. So we're talking about policy, practices, things that can be internal, things that can be attached to a program for sustainability, but also to ensure that we're being equitable. Because when you're dealing with marginalized groups and when you're dealing with all human beings, we have to be equitable. We have to be accessible because it's part of our human right.
Yeah. Samantha, are you hopeful that by the next cohort this could be resolved, or what signs what are we looking at?
I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
And Erin mentioned it, NIB, the leadership is, they've been very open. We've had multiple conversations. We've, through the commission and Ms. Bethel really leading the charge, have outlined policy white papers so that we can put that forward. And so it's not a matter of making one adjunct ad hoc change, but making sure that we look at the current legislation holistically and amend it to where there are gaps, because there are other countries within the region and the world who provide that, they call it that social benefit, but still allow and empower persons to work. And so there's a way that we can be able to support without endorsing dependency.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So, how many more weeks are we seeing with the program right now?
Well, like I said, we're wrapping up the training aspect of it, and then we go into the grant funding. And so, to be very transparent with you, if we were to get a call and say, listen, we're about to allow for this amnesty period, then by all means, we're prepared to extend the grant application deadline to accommodate that, right? But we have a few more weeks of this program because we want to highlight. So we're going to probably go all the way to the end of March, if not a little bit over, because we certainly want to highlight the unstoppable individuals who are doing these things regardless of. Right.
Yes.
And so we're excited. We are grateful for our partnerships again through the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, their Be Inspired program, focused on that grouping between 18 and 35 persons or entrepreneurs with disabilities. Wow. This is collaboration. This is true collaboration. And we are very hopeful that we'll be able to get that legislative policy change that we need.
Indeed.
Yeah.
We're all hoping for that one. Aaron, you final word?
And the Unstoppable series, get ready, because the word unstoppable does not even describe the features that you're going to meet from around the Bahamas. But to give you just a snippet, for those who are worrying about losing their benefits, there are persons with disabilities who never received benefits, who have been disallowed, have applied over and numerously, and have never not once received benefits. Wow. And they still showed up. We have one of our features that have been in business for over 40 years. 40 years, have never received benefits, and is a successful business owner, community leader. So I don't want you to lean on the fact that you may lose. A lot of times we like to say we lose this and therefore what are we going to do? We're not losing, we're learning. Yes. And I get that from Loretta Turner Butler. She said that one time and that stuck with me. We don't lose, baby, we learn. But I want you to know, even in leaning and taking the risks on you, you are worth it. You are worth it, that all of that you are seemingly losing will return tenfold because you are showing up authentically. You are visible. Persons know where to find you and seed into you, buy your products, your services, and also help to develop you professionally as you grow. So do not let anything, you are unstoppable. Yes. You are unstoppable. So you're going to meet some of those in our series, but know that you are also one of those persons.
Aaron Brown, you are always inspiring. Thank you so much for being here this morning and keep up with the great work you're doing. Samantha Rolle, this is great. Always great seeing you. Thank you. SBDC continue to do well. We'll talk soon. We'll talk soon.
Yes. Bye, Laverne.
Goodbye, Samantha. Bye, Aaron.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Escalating global conflicts. Are you ready for what's next? Join us at RF Bahamas Economic Outlook on March 12th at Bahamar, where top global and local experts will break down the key economic, political, and social trends shaping our future. Hear from Admiral Mike Rogers, former head of U.S. Cyber Command, and more. Plus, gain CPD credits, powerful insights, and high-impact networking all in one day. Don't miss out. Secure your spot now at rfbeo.com. That's rfbeo.com. RF Bahamas Economic Outlook. See you there.
The Victory Fest 2025. Join us Saturday, March 1st at Smuggling Square for an epic celebration of the 2024 Boxing Day and 2025 New Year Chunk in the Winner. Saxon Superstar. Enjoy music by Playout DJ, Phil Giant, DJ Tank, and performing live, Fan Sean and D-Mac. Let's celebrate the 4 straight Chunk in the Winners. Saxon Superstars. Victory Fest 2025, Saturday, March 1st at Smuggling Square. hosted by Rika C. Gates open at 8 p.m. Let's celebrate Junkanoo, Ultra, and the Saxon Superstars. Collect reminds you to drink responsibly, please.
Are you ready to break up with your car? Easy Car Sales invites you to fall in love with an electric vehicle. Ditch the gas pump, the expensive mechanics. Feel the freedom, the power. Visit easy242.com and make a date to test drive an electric vehicle today. Get into a better relationship. Find your perfect match at Easy Car Sales and drive electric happily ever after.
It is time for your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL. Environmental scientists from development consulting firm Braun are continuing their post-landing workup of the SpaceX drone ship site to determine what impacts, if any, the landing of the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket booster had on the maritime and terrestrial environment surrounding it. That's according to one of Braun's principals, Carlos Palacios. He told Guardian Business that the data being collected will be analyzed next week and will be handed over and discussed with the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection shortly thereafter. Braun senior environmental consultant Agnesa Lundy telling reporters just before the launch of the Falcon 9, which took a payload of Starlink satellites into orbit, that based on data from previous launches and landings that were studied by Braun scientists, it is believed that there would not be any significant impacts to the environment due to the landing. Meanwhile, Exuma Chamber of Commerce President Aaron Hanna saying the successful landing of the SpaceX exploration company's Falcon 9 rocket is having a positive impact on Exuma businesses. He told Guardian Business that the groundbreaking event highlights the growing significance of the region on the global stage. You can read more about his comments in today's Guardian Business section. And Chairman of the Clearing Banks Association, Gowan Bowe, says saying that two of the greatest challenges to private sector innovation is the absence of a clear national plan and the ability to formally pool resources. Bowe, a former chairman of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, saying that in small island states, it's important to have an understanding of the national development strategy. Read more on his comments in today's Guardian Business section. In your market watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday. Your market movers, Cable Bahamas moving 151,500 shares, closing at 361 unchanged. Famguard moving 7,500 unchanged at 610. Consolidated Water closing at 549, down 10 cents. Emira Incorporated down 3 cents, closing at 963. The BISX All Share Index closing at 3,094.51, down 0.13. That's your market watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations. And that is going to do it for us. Laverne, thank you so much for being with us today.
Always a pleasure.
I'm going to talk with you again next week, and I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody have a great one. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL.